What if all the improvement strategies you've followed are genuinely worsening your life? We've constructed a massive industry based on the idea that we're inherently flawed, relentlessly repairing ourselves as if we're defective instruments. But here's the profound reality. The central assumption that you need improvement is the only real flaw. Imagine a sea wave suddenly becoming conscious and worrying because it's not solid like a stone, because it endlessly modifies shape. The wave would attempt mending itself to achieve consistency. How nonsensical would that seem? Yet this is exactly what we as humans do every day. The wave is already complete, but we've taught ourselves that we're broken ventures requiring endless remodeling. We've been taught an upside-down story. You hold difficulties needing answers, elements needing enhancement, and if you try hard enough, find the right method, you can finally fix yourself and become who you're supposed to be. This tale is so ingrained in our culture that we hardly interrogate it. We recognize our state as permanent projects being refined. But what if this premise is completely inverted? Here's something shocking. You were never broken, never partial, never a difficulty needing answers. The only aspect demanding correction is the notion that you need correction. Reflect on nature. When you view a tree, you don't judge its branches as deficient. The tree is wonderful exactly as it presents itself. It grows and responds to its environment, but doesn't hold committee meetings about personal development. We humans have evolved this capability to become our own evaluators and overseers. We stare in the mirror and view a remodeling job needing attention. Trees learn too, uncovering which way to stretch toward light, how to extend roots further down. But trees don't torture themselves about inadequate height. They reply instinctively to what existence delivers. The difference is trees trust their nature, while we've been taught to doubt ours. We've been trained to think our instincts are questionable, our answers likely faulty. So we establish an internal monitor evaluating our every move. Am I delivering enough results? Am I growing at the proper velocity? It's innovating, like hosting an overbearing boss in your brain, always finding you lacking. But this supervisor isn't you. It's absorbed judgments, acquired benchmarks from parents, instructors, and civilization. You've assimilated a counsel causing you to feel permanently lacking. Yet who observes this panel? Who watches these critiques? Something within you watches this show without being consumed. That essence is what you truly are. You're not the concepts about who you are. You are the consciousness in which all this manifests like meteorological patterns through the atmosphere. The sky is never wounded by weather patterns. Weather systems arrive and leave, but the sky continues boundless. Similarly, thoughts about inadequacy come and go, yet your being stays unchanged. You can shift and flourish without the story that you're fundamentally broken. Watch little ones discovering how to walk. They fall constantly. Do they generate tales about being defective? Of course not. They stand and try again because walking seems pleasurable. Learning emerges naturally, spontaneously, without self-critique. Two methods of transformation exist. One assumes you're broken, like a technician servicing a malfunctioning engine. The other recognizes you're already whole, like a gardener believing in organic development. The mechanic wrestles while the gardener joins forces with nature. Most development systems are technical. We treat ourselves like robots requiring better software. But what if you're more like a garden containing natural intelligence? When you place confidence in this wisdom, you discontinue fighting against yourself. Rather than coercing yourself into frameworks, you permit your form to surface. When you cease battling yourself, you release tremendous energy for life. Contemplate how much power you waste critiquing yourself. Envision if that energy were free for being in the moment. The person who knows their whole focuses power on expression and finding. Here's something astonishing. When you stop endeavoring to fix yourself, aspects you believed needed fixing often settle themselves. When you cease generating self-judgment, your mental clarity settles. Much of what we assume is wrong comes from trying to correct what was never flawed. You may believe you possess an anxiety issue and implement methods to resolve it. But this striving manufactures increased anxiety. What if being anxious at times is entirely acceptable? When you discontinue considering anxiety problematic, it often melts away naturally. We've been conditioned to believe we should feel certain ways, joyful, assured, serene. Yet feelings are the climate of awareness, sometimes tumultuous, sometimes calm. This isn't an error. This same concept applies to character features we see as defects. Maybe you're introverted in a culture celebrating extroversion. Instead of fixing these aspects, recognize them as your unique addition. Oak trees don't strive to transform into pines. Rivers don't feel bad about not being mountains. When you accept your nature completely, something magical happens. You stop burning energy, attempting to be someone else. This doesn't indicate you never acquire knowledge, but growth springs from interest rather than deficiency. You grow because expansion is fun. Children don't strive at imagining. They simply fantasize naturally and effortlessly. We've been taught to doubt innate wisdom. We've changed our internal life into an enterprise with reviews. However, your true nature remains, waiting for you to recall you were never broken from the beginning. Here's an irony. The more you attempt to better yourself, the more you confirm that you require enhancement. Yet when you grasp you were never incomplete, evolution happens naturally, without strain. When you believe in your essence, development unfolds like blossoms blooming, splendidly in their own rhythm. This isn't passivity, but faith in the wisdom that powers your heartbeat. So here's a suggestion. Engage in an experiment. For a single day, cease trying to improve yourself. Consider that day as an offering to receive. Meet emotions without changing them. Perceive thoughts without judging. Consider yourself like a cherished companion with compassion, tolerance, and levity. You might learn you're amazing exactly as you are. This is the mystery. You were never broken. You're already whole, already adequate. You're not divided from existence. You are life, showing itself as human, and existence is a celebration. We're all waves within the same waters, each unique, each perfect, each temporary. When you understand this as direct experience, you can at last ease into being yourself. Your authentic self is more magnificent than your imagined ideal. You don't need to become more like life because you are life experiencing itself as you. The wave is the sea experiencing itself as a wave. If these words struck a chord with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel. Follow for more content that challenges traditional beliefs about personal evolution and self-improvement, and write a comment below with the word whole to let me know you're ready to embrace your complete, unbroken nature precisely as you exist right now.